congratulations on a great season.
Thank you.
Just overall thoughts today, the game, and the season as well.
Today, I mean, we just, unfortunately, we didn't play our best. We got off to a decent start, but then we just kind of didn't keep it up. We got beat a little bit on the glass in the first half, and that gave them a bunch of second chance opportunities. We didn't finish in the paint, which we have typically done a good job of. They're big and physical. I mean, credit to them for that. They went and chased the ball and got them. They had big bodies in the paint that were fighting us and not letting us get where we wanted to all the time, or at least competing when we were getting there. And, it slowed our offense down. We got in a little foul trouble. And then, when we went from there, it allowed them to get a little bit of a run and get ahead. And, second half, we're just chasing, like trying to get as many possessions as we can and see if we can put 4 or 5 minute stretch together that we could have got back into it. And it just never really happened. I think we chipped it to like 13 once, and then they went on another run. But the season overall, I mean, these kids just battled and fought, constantly. I told them at the beginning of the year, we have 28 opportunities to go and compete against somebody else. Like, that's all we're guaranteed. And, I'd have to really think hard of a game that, like, we went out there and we didn't go compete. The best compliments I can have from people are when we go to restaurants and that, people talk about how good our kids are and how nice they were to talk to and how they conduct themselves and represent our university in such an incredible manner. And then, when you talk to coaches and they're like, man, you guys just play so hard. Your guys just compete for each other so hard. Like that. I mean, those two things, I don't know if it gets any better than that. And that, that goes to the kids, not us. I mean, I'm not raising them. Their parents raised them, and they do the right things because they're good young men. And that's the easy job is coaching the basketball.
This is a St. Mary's team that's gone to the regional semifinals for the first time back-to-back years in program history. So what can you say just about? I mean, you look what you've accomplished over the last 2 years, kind of the state of the program. It says a lot about where this team is right now.
Yeah, we just talked to the seniors in the locker room and kind of went through the list. I mean, Damani, Wayne, Sebastian, Eddie, those 4 guys, they were here last year. They won last year. 3 of those guys start all the time for 2 years. Wayne came off the bench, and not one time in 2 years did Wayne ever say, like, Coach, why do I not start? Coach, can I get playing time? Coach, can I do this? Not one time. And there's a lot of teams that Wayne would start on and play a ton, and he didn't care. He just completely sacrificed any of that. He didn't worry about it. And then, Nacho came this year and fit right in with those older guys and, probably even made it, enhanced it a little bit and enhanced that group because of what he brought and the type of kid he is. I wish we could have those kids for longer, but for the 2 years that we had them, they kind of changed how people view our program, how we approach things on a daily basis, because they are guys that punch the clock, wore their hat, and competed no matter what we did every single day.
This one's for Sebastian. Sebastian, you come out extremely physical style of play. I noticed that you love to guard some of the best players, but just talk about this season, your teammates, and how tough you guys were as a team.
Yes, you're exactly right. Coach gave me the task to guard the team's best players majority of the year, and it's honestly an honor to go ahead and do it. And me personally, I love the challenge, so and then also too, my teammates having my back. Like sometimes I make mistakes, and it's not always gonna be perfect. When you're guarding good players, you're bound to get put on a mixtape or just put in a bad situation. And not once have my teammates complained about me making a decision, whether it's good or bad. And it's honestly a compliment having guys like that who they just let me play, let me do my thing, and I loved it.
And I got one for Justin. Justin, there was probably a lid on the basket tonight, but talk about Black Hills State, how physical that game was, but you stepped up to the challenge. Talk about maybe their players and what you experienced tonight.
No, I think they were just very physical, especially with me from the jump, just because mainly this year I've prioritized getting to the rim and getting to the paint, and there were some times where I would get there and the ball would roll off the rim, and usually some finishes that I normally make just didn't go my way tonight, but they were extremely good defensive team. They were physical at the rim and bumps, and that's just something that I got to grow with maturity and work on for the next season, and just being able to finish plays like that.
Coach, any lasting memories for this squad? I know you touched on the seniors. How special? This is a special class, special group of guys. But
Yeah, I mean, I'll spend some time individually with each one of them. As we kind of like finish out this semester and stuff. It's gonna be different without them for sure. Just super dependable kids. Just great kids. I mean, they're all 5 of them that are seniors. They're gonna have unbelievable lives and careers. They're just made up the right way. I mean, I don't even know how to really describe that. It sounds kind of cliche, but man, they're just really good people, and they're about the right things in life. And it's going to be awesome to see them grow as people and have families and all the things that come later in life. But I can't even wrap my head around like where we go and start without them. These kids, I mean, they play hurt, they play banged up. I told Bass, I could be a little bit of a historian for St. Mary's basketball. I've been around a day or two, but Leon Walls, Jerry Soto, Lorenzo Anthony, Adrian Wright, those are probably the all-time best defensive players we've ever had. I mean, if there's like a Mount Rushmore of defensive players, those guys are there, and Sebastian is on that same monument. I mean, it's unbelievable the way he would approach every day. Kids aren't made up that way. To just go and, like the unsung, unheralded hero, it's just unbelievable. I mean, Loa had we have a 16-point game? No, 14-point game. And you have to go back and see like how many of those were not on Bass, but last year when we were here, Bass guarded the 2 players of the year in the conference then too. And they both had, I think, under 5 points. That does not show up in stat sheets. That's not in steals. That's not in rebounds. That's just like, go give me that guy, coach, and he's going to have a long night. And man, that's the selflessness, the selflessness in that. I don't even know how you put that in words. And then, you don't get recognized like for it ever, and then you just go do it again the next day, and you go do it the next day and the next day. And then you look up and you make people think that, your coach knows what he's doing a little bit, and all you did was just say like, Bass, go guard that guy. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to miss these kids like some you wouldn't believe. And, the returning guys, Justin and like they all have shoes to fill. I mean, they're going to have to get to work, like this one's going to be behind us. And like, now we're looking forward to how we get back.
I got one more for Sebastian. Obviously, tonight didn't go the way you wanted to go, but talk about the road here, battling through the Lone Star Conference Tournament Championship. You win at the buzzer. Talk about just how you feel, the good memories of this season, and how you guys battled.
Definitely look back on the good memories. I will say my experience here the past 2 years, we have more good memories than bad memories. But it's like, I think it's with basketball, right? Like, you have good moments and bad moments. And my time here at St. Mary's, there's more good moments than bad moments. And I just feel like I did with the right guys. And our approach this whole year was kind of just like next play, tough together, unselfish. It's like stuff like that. We kind of just carry on. And there was games that we felt like we should have won. And instead of like us going down in a deeper hole, we found ourselves to dig it back up and just move forward. And I think that's kind of speaks of how like we are and we kind of approach life as well.
Love it. And then last question for me, but Justin, talk about just like the road to get here, again, second year in a row in this tournament, but talk about the road game after game, maybe battling injuries and just a few things you had to overcome.
I mean, it's tough. I mean, I think we play in one of the best conferences for Division II basketball, and it's never easy. No game is ever going to be just a cakewalk where you can just walk in and beat somebody by 30 and think you're going to walk out of somewhere just easy, but I mean, and honestly, like, I don't think without the seniors that we had this year that we even stood a chance to even be where we are now. We got everybody played a role, you feel me? And then this is just my first year here, and I came from a losing program when I was at JUCO. So to get here and then have guys like Monty and Bass, Eddie, and everybody just teach me the ways for me to step in and learn. Like without them, I don't think we're in this position now. So I just give all the praise to those guys because without them, we're just a regular team and we could easily be at the bottom of the conference.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you guys. Thanks for everything.